In this video, I'll be tearing down the front end of a naturally aspirated Porsche 944 to begin repairing some accident damage caused by a lower front impact. This car sustained some front end damage a few months ago while avoiding a deer that had jumped into the road, which resulted in a cracked front spoiler, a broken fog light, and a bent radiator support bracket after colliding with a shallow ditch on the shoulder. The impact to the radiator housing crushed the AC condenser and lower radiator hose, and bent a number of brackets and components under the car. After some extensive part shopping, I've tracked down and acquired all the major pieces needed to repair the car, so let's go ahead and get started on the disassembly. With all the replacement parts on hand, it's time to start tearing down the front end of the car, and I'm going to begin by working from the outside in, so remove the front bumper and the front spoiler, and we'll get this header panel pulled off, and the headlight control shaft, just to expose the front components so that there's space to weld in the new support bracket. And from below, the bracket's pushed in quite a bit, so I'll need to pull that back to get some space to remove the cooling fan assembly. And then we'll get the radiator and the AC condenser and all those parts pulled out so that we can rebuild the lower half and get it painted and get the new parts mounted up. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove this aluminum front bumper, and it's pretty easy to do. There's just two 19mm bolts that are accessed from underneath near these impact strips. Get those pulled out and disconnect the left and right turn signal markers as you're pulling it off, and I'll set that aside and keep moving. With the front bumper out of the way, I'm going to begin removing the lower front spoiler from the car. We'll want to disconnect the wiring harnesses from the fog lights and the side markers in order to pull it away from the car. And what you're going to want to do is just work your way around and remove all the bolts. There are 3 along the top sections on either side, which are a little bit easier to access if you remove the wheel well liner or the lens for the side marker here. You can get up in there, and there's a lower one that connects to the wheel well liner as well. And as you move over to the center section, there's 2 on either side of the center section and 1 support hanger here, and then some nut and bolt setups along the bottom for the air duct that bridges the gap between the front spoiler and the lower radiator support member. So just go ahead and pull all those off, and then the front valance can be pulled away from the vehicle. With the front spoiler removed, it really exposes the lower front end here and gives us a good idea of what else we need to work on. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove this plastic air duct for the radiator assembly, which is secured by 2 10mm bolts, and then we'll look at removing the AC condenser and the radiator. In a moment here, I'm going to be pulling this radiator support bracket forward a little bit to create some space, and in order to do so, I'm going to remove the AC condenser first to reduce that structure, and it's secured by just 2 10mm bolts, 1 on either side. If your system hasn't been evacuated, you're going to want to have the refrigerant reclaimed and properly disposed of prior to doing so. In this case, the system has been compromised for quite some time now, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove the 22mm and the 19mm fittings on either side here for these refrigerant lines, and remove the 10mm bolts, and the AC condenser will then slide down from its mounting pins above, and it can be pulled away from the car. With the AC condenser out, we can see it's pretty well mangled up all around. And the only thing that's left down there is the cooling fan assembly and the radiator. So go ahead and try to pull this bracket back a little bit to make some space to remove the cooling fan assembly. It looks like that should work. Got a couple inches there. There's that fan connector. All right, so just pull the 3 screws on the top and the bottom of the fan assembly, disconnect the wiring harnesses, and drop it down. Here's a look at the cooling fan assembly. The shroud is intact and salvageable, and we can see where that connector was sliced by the power steering pump belt. And so in order to care for this, I've got a replacement fan motor if I need it, and I've also got a spare connector that I could swap out if I want to use the existing motor, and a replacement wiring harness that I'll need to splice in since the other one got shredded up. So we'll get that sorted out, but this should be a good solution for it. Now that the cooling fan assembly is out of the way, I can begin removing the radiator from the car. To do so, you'd first want to drain your coolant system, and I do have a video on the channel that describes that process if you're interested. In this case, I already have it drained, so it's just a matter of disconnecting the 4 coolant hoses. We've got the lower line over here, and then the upper fill line to the reservoir, one coming from the cylinder head, and the little overflow line. Get those disconnected, as well as the thermofan switch, wiring harness for that one. And the radiator is secured by just 2 mounting bolts, 10mm up top, one on the right and one on the left. So go ahead and get those pulled out. And there are some spring clips that are securing yet another plastic air duct underneath here, so pop those off along the top, and the radiator can be tilted. And it's a little bit easier to drop it down from underneath, provided that the car is raised enough for clearance. Otherwise, it can be removed from the top section as well. You just may need to tilt it to the side and get some clearance on these items and get it pulled out of the car. So we'll go ahead and get the radiator pulled out, and then we'll work on removing this nose panel and the headlight control shaft, and we'll be in pretty good shape to get the car off for paint. This radiator is looking pretty tired, so it'll be nice to have a new one going into the car upon reassembly. And with the cooling components cleared out of the way, we can get a good look at the support bracket and verify there's no frame damage here. So in replacing the right support and reshaping the left one a bit, we should be in really good shape for the rebuild. The next thing I'm going to do is remove this front nose panel from the car, also referred to as a header panel. And to do so, the headlights will need to be in a raised position to access the hardware. To raise the headlights, you can either use the adjustment knob on the headlight motor and turn that until they're fully raised, or you can put the key into the ignition and turn it to the on position and turn the headlights on to raise them. And then you'll need to remove the headlight motor fuse from the fuse panel. On the early cars, it's at fuse number 1 on the additional fuse panel, and the late cars, it's fuse number 2 at the central electrical panel. And then you can just pull your key out of the ignition and the headlights will stay up. At this point, you're ready to begin removing the panel, so let's take a look at how we pull it off. The nose panel is secured by a total of 8 screws and 4 nuts. There are 4 Phillips head screws along the top, so just go down the line and remove those. If you have a very early 944, 1983, or 1984, you'll probably find that these are spot welded into place, in which case you'll need to first drill out the spot welds and that can be replaced with the screw and speed clip setup for reassembly. Down in the front here, you'll find some weather stripping that you can just kind of work out and pull that out of the way to access the hardware. And the very end, we've got a 10mm screw that you can use a universal joint and an extension to get out. And tucked under the panel on the other side is another Phillips head screw that you can get a screwdriver in the side and get that one out. And then you've got two 8mm nuts in each headlight bucket. And go ahead and get those loosened up. And with all the screws removed and the nuts loosened, the panel can be tilted forward slightly and pulled straight off the car. The last thing I'm going to do is remove this headlight control shaft from the car. So you can go ahead and reinstall the fuse for the headlight motor, and the headlight buckets will drop back into place. The shaft is secured on this side by a mounting bracket that has two 10mm bolts on it. And the other side, there is a 13mm nut on the end of the drive shaft for this motor. And there are two hinges, one on either side, that have some ball bearings, and you can remove the spring clip and the washer and get a screwdriver or a pry bar in between those two plates and just pop the plastic ball bearing off of the metal ball. Go ahead and do that on either side, and the headlight control shaft can be removed. If you'd like to remove your headlight buckets, there are two mounting plates, one on either side of each headlight with 3 bolts in it, and you can remove those and pull the headlights out if you need to. In this case, I'm going to leave them installed and just clear out this center section, and I think we should be good to go. Here's a final look at the front end all stripped down, and there should be more than enough space to get in here now, swap out that right support bracket, and get it all squared away for reassembly. The only surprise during the process was the discovery of 4 missing bolts for the lower air duct, so I'll get that added to an incidental parts order, and that'll include a new temperature switch for the cooling fans and some heat shrink tubing for the wiring harness replacement. Here's a look at all the parts going into the front end rebuild. We've got a few items here that are pre-owned, but the majority of it is brand new, genuine Porsche parts. We've got 2 new wheel well liners for the left and right sides, a freshly minted front spoiler, a front spoiler air duct and a radiator air duct, 2 new fog light assemblies, the lower radiator hose and clamps, power steering pump belt and refurbished pulley, a new radiator and AC condenser, right support member and lower cross member for the radiator support, front spoiler mounting brackets, a body retaining plate, cooling fan motor, and new bushings, washers, nuts, and bolts for the reassembly. These metal parts here will all be repainted in the factory colors or matte silver, along with the lower front valance. Well, I've got all the parts loaded into the car that will be going in for paint, and everything is wrapping up on the front end teardown. Unfortunately, most of the body shops in my area are running about 2 months behind on work at the moment, so I may be shopping around for a bit to see who can fit it in and get the work done correctly, but once that's done, we'll get the car back and work on rebuilding the front end.